All right, so get ready because today we're diving deep into one of the most famous alien abduction stories ever.
The Barney and Betty Hill case from 1961.
A case that didn't just capture imaginations, but really went on to shape how we think about alien encounters even today.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting is how it starts out, with these ordinary people in this very relatable setting.
Yeah, it all begins on what seems like a pretty normal night, September 19th, 1961.
Just picturing this late night, quiet roads. Barney and Betty Hill are driving home to New Hampshire after a vacation.
They were an interracial couple, which was obviously way less common back then.
Right, a whole other story in itself. But on
Yeah.
this night, they were just two people heading home just like any of us would be.
And something's off.
Something strange in the sky.
Betty's actually the first one to pick up on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she sees this light, but it's not just any light. It's moving super erratically, like nothing you'd expect.
And Barney, he tries to explain it away at first.
Oh, yeah, totally. He's the more practical one, you know?
Yeah, like maybe it's a satellite or something.
Exactly. But then it starts doing things that just don't make sense for any, normal aircraft.
This is where it really gets me. Betty grabs her binoculars to get a better look.
She wasn't just glimpsing either. She was really trying to figure out what she was seeing.
And that's when things go from strange to like, whoa.
It goes from a light in the sky to a full-blown,
A craft.
a large, flat, metallic-looking craft with lights flashing.
And it gets even creepier. Barney says he could see figures inside.
No way.
Yeah, like they were being watched.
Imagine that feeling you're looking at something and it's looking back at you.
That sends chills down my spine.
I know, it goes from being curious to straight up terrifying.
Yeah, what would you even do in that situation?
Well, their first instinct, of course, was to get out of there.
Makes sense.
But according to them, this thing followed them.
Oh, no, come on.
Yeah, the chase is a really common element in these abduction stories.
It is. It's like this primal fear of being hunted by something you can't even understand.
Exactly. And just when you think it couldn't get any weirder.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's where the whole missing time thing comes in.
Hours just gone.
Gone. They find themselves miles further down the road, and neither of them can remember how they got there.
Missing time is like a hallmark of these kinds of stories, right?
It is, and it goes beyond just lost time, too. It speaks to this really deep psychological and emotional impact.
Your brain's trying to fill in these huge gaps in your memory, and in this case, those gaps are filled with fear and confusion.
Exactly. And what's really wild is that's just the beginning of how strange this whole thing gets.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah, buckle up.
So we were talking about how the experience affected them after...
Right after the missing time.
Yeah, after the missing time.
It's almost like that was just the beginning.
Yeah, this is where Betty's dreams get really intense.
The nightmares.
Yeah, the nightmares. She starts having these incredibly vivid dreams about being taken aboard this craft, and this is where it gets really weird, undergoing medical examinations by these beings.
Yeah. And it's those descriptions of the beings that are like burned into our minds.
Yeah, they're like seared into our consciousness.
The small gray bodies, large heads, those big black almond-shaped eyes.
Exactly.
Like they became the stereotypical image of aliens in pop culture after the Hills came forward with their story.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not even just the beings themselves, it's those details of the examinations that she describes that really get me.
Like what kinds of details?
Well, she talks about this table, a needle, even a possible pregnancy test.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
A pregnancy test.
A pregnancy test, which just adds this whole other layer of strangeness to an already strange story.
It's really unsettling to think about. And all of this is coming out while they're under hypnosis, right?
Well, not exactly. I mean, hypnosis does play a part later on.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't just go straight into hypnosis after the event. They started experiencing a lot of anxiety, nightmares, even physical problems because of what they went through.
So it was like this delayed reaction.
Yeah, it really started to mess with their lives.
So what did they do?
Well, they ended up seeking help from a psychiatrist, a doctor named Benjamin Simon.
And that's where the hypnosis comes in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dr. Simon decided to use hypnosis to see if they could unlock those missing hours.
Unlock their memories.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't just Betty remembering things under hypnosis.
Wait, they both did?
They both did independently.
No way.
Yeah, which is actually a really important detail because it lends some credibility to their claims.
Because they weren't just making up a story together?
Exactly. They were both hypnotized separately and interviewed separately, but their stories had some really interesting similarities.
That's pretty wild. We do have to remember, though, that Barney was initially pretty skeptical about the whole thing.
Oh, totally. He even questioned Betty's dreams at first, thought she was just having a bad dream or something.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, especially for someone who was known for being pretty grounded and practical.
Right, but then under hypnosis, something changes for him too.
Yeah, it's like something shifted.
He starts describing being abducted, being examined, just like Betty, and the fear in his voice is palpable. It's like the hypnosis allowed him to access this really traumatic experience that he couldn't consciously confront before.
And that brings us to probably the most debated part of this whole case.
The star map.
The star map.
Under hypnosis, Betty describes this map shown to her by one of these beings, and years later, someone actually tried to match it up to real star charts.
Right, and they found a potential match with a star system called Zeta Reticuli.
Zeta Reticuli, what are the odds?
I know, right? It makes you wonder.
It really does. It's just one of those details that's hard to shake off.
It's like, what if?
Exactly. Like, is it a coincidence, a false memory from the hypnosis, or something more?
And if it is something more, why were they abducted? Why show them a star map? It's the ultimate mystery.
It really is. I mean, we've just scratched the surface of the weirdness here.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah. This story just keeps going.
It's one of those cases that really makes you question everything you thought you knew, right?
Like, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it happened to real people, and here we are all these years later still talking about it.
And that's what gets me. It's not just some sci-fi story. It makes you think about human experience, the limits of what we know, you know?
The power of a good mystery.
Exactly. It's like this reminder that we don't have all the answers, and maybe that's okay.
Maybe that's what makes life and the universe so fascinating, the not knowing.
Totally. A healthy dose of curiosity. Never hurt anyone, right?
I like that, a healthy dose of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
If this deep dive has taught us anything, it's that the world's a much stranger place than we often give it credit for.
And way more mysterious.
And who knows, maybe somewhere out there, something or someone is looking back at us wondering the same things.
Pondering the mysteries of the universe.
That's a thought. Well, for anyone listening who's about to head out on a late-night road trip, maybe keep those binoculars handy.
You never know what you might see.
You never know. And on that note, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into the strange and captivating case of Barney and Betty Hill. Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep exploring the mysteries of the universe.
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.